Hi. Since the leak, everything is starting to get cleaned back up again. And the final thing that I'm doing here is this area, the canopy. The ceilings are not as high here as they were in the other place, and so I cut some off along the bottom of the canopy. And I cut a little too much off, but it's still, I put the meter in and it still works, so that's good. And some parts it still drags along the floor, so that's still good. And that up there is really bad and has to be repaired. So I cut some fabric off the bottom and washed it, because everything's eventually going to have to be washed. And what I did is, I can't find it anywhere. Here it is. I bought a special fabric from Less EMF called Tex Care, because when you wash this material, people find that it doesn't work again. It doesn't get do the shielding. In other words, the shielding quits working after they wash it. And so the big key is you have to use like this fabric, particular brand. It's for the shielding materials, Y-shield material. And it's measured in European measurements. So if you're American, I figured it out, like one load is 0.211 cups. So in my little bucket there, doing a little bit, basically what I just did is I did one half of the canopy cut off. And I hung it out there. Now in this humidity and cloudiness, I don't know how it's going to dry, but I'm going to give it a shot because it's very thin material. So hopefully that will dry it. And in this little bucket, I'm filling about a quarter of the bucket, so I used about a tablespoon. And then you have to use distilled water. There's my empty distilled water jug. So you have to have, you can't use regular water. Regular water will just cause the metal to corrode in it and it won't work. So distilled water. So I have the other half that I cut off from this end of the canopy, where the side where the water was. And it smells really, really bad. It's not like the other side that I just washed. It's clean. And that's why I'm doing them separate, because this one is just dirt. And I should have started filming sooner because it had like a lot of gray water. But for the next side, I will do it. Now, I may have to wash it. I think with this fabric and using this shampoo for it, I think that you can only like wash it once. You can't just wash it and wash it again. It's basically, these canopies, these shielding canopies and curtains and things, they really can't be washed. But if you have one big incident, you can, wash them once, from what I understand. So the other strip that is just like this, that was on the mold side, is probably going to be pretty bad. And so I can't see really how one washing will do it. So what I'm going to do, like after I take this down, after it's dry, I'm going to test it and see what kind of frequencies it blocks. And then I'm going to go ahead and wash the other side and see, how it does. Because what I might have to do is soap it, wash it, soap it, and wash it again, because it does have all that junk in it. I mean, I got really sick. I slept most of the day, real late today, because it's just like cutting that just had me sick, absolutely sick. And so I've changed the linens on the bed and everything where I was cutting it, and everything's going to get washed. It was just, I don't know if it was dust or mold or both, probably both, the beginning of mold and dust. So I want to stop it. And then after that, after I see how everything goes, if I'm still well enough, I'm just getting really, really, run down and not feeling too good. So if I'm still up and around, or when I can, I'm going to wash the entire canopy and just get that all out, just to start with everything clean again. So I'll keep you posted on this project as it goes. I'll keep adding more footage. One thing about the Canopy and the fabric, it's a lot of fabric. It's like lengths of fabric. And one thing, I don't know what I was thinking, but I would never be able to really use that line outside. I haven't since I've been here because of like severe wind or rains. So there's really not enough time between showers around here that is reliable enough to dry it. So I got it like dry enough, and I hurried up and brought it in before it got wet again, because I don't know if that's going to damage the fabric either, because this fabric is so picky and finicky. So I'm just going to leave it like up in this room to dry. I don't know how it's going to dry the rest of the way with humidity the way it is, because it's so humid here. So I'm going to try it. The other half of the Canopy, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I've put it away in a bag, and I'm just going to think about it for a while, and maybe even like rethink this and try to find out what other option I could do about cleaning this. So I'm kind of working on things right now. Things are a lot better in here, but I just don't think it's really hard with these lengths and big pieces to do it, because you can't just hang them in the shower like I hang everything else. You know, I can hang my bedding and linens and everything in the shower, except this is just really long. So keep that in mind if you're, you know, doing the shielding stuff, because it's just a lot of fabric. There's not enough room. You really don't want to subject it to a dryer. That would definitely damage it. So there's not enough room to hang it. You're going to have to find somewhere inside where it could actually hang. There's not enough room, you know, like in the shower or something. So you're going to have a place like either, you know, if somebody has a garage or something, that's good. I don't. If I did, you know, I'd have my clothesline in the garage, but that's just an idea of what you can do. So I'll let you know as the project goes on. Okay, I basically tried to iron this. It's a little bit better. It's still like a little bit crinkly. That's all you can do. Because the man told me that you cannot use like a wet iron, because there might be a chemical reaction with what the inside of the tank is made out of and the water. So you can't really like put distilled water in your iron and use water. So that's what he told me. So I tried ironing this and got this, and this is what I got. So now I got the meter, and I've got it, it's like on here, it's between 1 and 2 green lights. So I'm just going to make sure that it's still working. So see, we don't have any lights in there. And as you come out, you can see that the lights come back. So everything but neighbor's smart meter pulses is gone. And I've gone like up and down the whole thing inside here to see, you know, just how good it is. So I'm going to work from there. So I'm going to go from that level on and try to wash the moldier half that I cut off. Now, this isn't all that I cut off the one half. This is just a portion of it. Let me see this section here. Still pretty good. I'm not getting any light. So this is just what I could iron, because I can't iron very much at a time, and it's going to take days to iron what I've cut off already and washed, not counting the moldy part, just the one half. Just because I can't really have the iron on that long. So that's what I've got to do there. It's like, you know, 5 minutes with the iron, and then I have to shut everything down because of the inverter and all that. So this is, I guess, better than having it all crinkled the way it was. I'll show you the way it was. This is like how crinkled it was. It's really crinkled, you can see. So this is like hanging out like a little bit better than that. I'm still not real happy with the results I got with the ironing at all. So he just said don't risk using even like distilled water with it because we don't want to lose the shielding. So as I kind of continue on with this whole canopy washing project, I will get back to you. I still don't know what I'm going to do about the main canopy, but I'm going to just continue with it. Okay, I'm sitting down so it's easier. So I got the material kind of spread out, and I'm just kind of doing this. I might need a little bit more distilled water. We'll see. Because before what I did is I just did like one load that way, and but it wasn't like all like musty moldy. It wasn't like the bad side that, you know, was where all the ick was, you know. It's not like it's full of mold or I'd throw it out, but it smelled kind of crummy, and it smells kind of crummy. So just because it was on that side, I just don't want to take any risks. So I may end up like having to wash this twice and then see how that goes, because you are really only supposed to wash it once, but let's see. So I will be back. After swishing, the water looks pretty gross, so what I'm going to do is like wring it out and set it up there, and then pour some new soapy water and just give it like another wash. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add maybe about half of the soap this time. And then another gallon of distilled water, and then I'm going to suds through it again because it was so gray. Okay, the water is like still pretty dirty, but it's not near what it was last time. I just don't want to take any risks because there was like musty, you know, that's where it got wet, and it was like musty, and I don't want to like leave any, you know, chance for it to mold. So I wanted to give it a second wash, even though you're probably not supposed to. It's just kind of like doing a machine with a pre-wash though, and I don't think a plunger and a bucket is as hard on this as people that put it in the machine. I can't imagine anyone would, really. That would really not work. I mean, the agitator on the machine would destroy the weave of the fabric. So I'm going to rinse this and get it hung out. Hopefully there'll be a chance to hang it out. What I did this time is I didn't wring it. I just poured the water out with the material in the bucket. I don't smell anything bad. You know, not like before. It was so bad that before, when I was cutting it off, it made me like sick for a day after I cut it. So I mean, it's definitely a thousand times better. It smells fresh, and I'm gonna take this outside without wringing it and try to hang it to see if it gets like a little less like crinkled or whatever. So I'll be back with you after I do that. Okay, so the second group is of shielding material is smoothed out and hung on the line outside. It was kind of hard because the bugs, the wind, it's pretty intense trying to do that, but it did get on the line out there, and hopefully the intense wind will help smooth it out too and dry it. So we'll see. I mean, I've got a couple hours where I'm sure it'll be clear and still able to dry, and I don't think it'll rain on it this time, hopefully. So it looks like I've got a couple hours at least for it to be out there, and with the wind that will probably help it and smooth it out, and maybe it won't be so bad to try to, you know, get all the crinkles out. But it seems like it's going to be okay. I'm just going to have to test it afterward to see if all the washing messed it up. So I will be back with you when that is done. Hi, I ironed one part of the moldier side. I did get that moldier side to dry, and I ironed one part of it, and now it's hanging over a chair. So I'm going to try it with the meter and just make sure that the little bit of extra washing I did didn't mess it up. Definitely the fabric doesn't look as solid and as good as it was before it was washed. Either did the other pieces that were washed a little bit less. Just once they're washed, they're just not the same. But anyway, I'm going to turn the meter on. This is what we got here. So we got steady green light. So putting it in there. So we got just the light that turns it on, but there's nothing happening at the meter, as you can see. And then I'm pulling it out, and you can see that light is on again. And then under here, it's only when the smart meters pulse. So that's pretty good. So, I mean, the fabric is still doing what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to take it and be using some of the fabric to repair the canopy that's just starting to tear through at the top where it's being supported up, and to make some curtains. So I'm waiting. I've been trying since probably February or March to get these screens taken out and cleaned, and I haven't been able to find anyone that can do it. So I'm really on a warpath to try to do that, so that because that's not something that I'm able to do. So I'm on a warpath to really try to do that, so that they're cleaned, so that then if I hang these white curtains, they're not going to immediately get like disgustingly soiled. And then I could, you know, put them up in place for those and use those, and you know, use this and the shade for that window, and maybe a few other windows, and have like some shielding aside from the canopy when I'm not in the canopy. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. I haven't done anything with this yet. I'm kind of scared to, just because it is so hard to, you know, that's about as good as I could get it pressed with a dry iron. So unless there's like really another option, I'm kind of hesitant to do this, but it is like really, really bad. So I'm gonna probably, I've done the experiment with some fabric, but the canopy I'm probably going to wait on, and that'll be another video. So eventually, you know, when I do it, I will put a video up. If you have any questions on this, put in the comments, comment, like, subscribe, share, and have a really great day.